We've told you about the shortage of ambulance services here in central Arkansas, but the problem has moved out of the cities and now taking a toll on the countryside.
THV 11's Frederick Price caught up with one EMT company struggling to care for a small community.
In rural Arkansas, when there's an emergency, it can oftentimes be challenging for ambulance services. Well, the owner of ProMed Ambulance tells me that the company is doing what they can to make sure that everyone in communities like Perryville are taken care of.
The need for ambulance services is vital now more than ever in places like Perry County.
It's important to have that immediate frontline first response for life-threatening emergencies.
Ken Kelly is the CEO of ProMed Ambulance, and he says there are only 2 units in the county.
Many of our challenges that come with that staffing are the long-distance transports that we're having to make outside of our service area.
For EMTs and paramedics, seconds count, and handling distressed patients can be tough.
So we have regional resources that are 20 to 30, sometimes 40 minutes away is the closest hospital.
With a high volume in emergency calls, situations tend to become more stressful because there's no hospital in the town.
There are days that we have one ambulance geographically covering 3 counties.
It's a decades-old issue, and it also boils down to money. Since the beginning of the pandemic, most of the staff has been working overtime, but the well is running dry because ambulance services didn't even see the extra funds made available to essential workers.
Those dollars have not been directed at ambulance services. We're probably the least funded segment of healthcare that has received any assistance funding.
Despite the shortages in staff and funding, he says the company will continue to respond to calls for help no matter how many they get. But they need our help.
The degree that we're able to continue to do that, though, is going to depend on widespread on community support and support from our state officials.
In Perryville, Frederick Price, THV 11 News.